Hello, this is Akiko Sudano from stampinginthemeadows.com in Downingtown, Pennsylvania. And I'm not seeing that I'm live yet. Hold on a second. Let me, there we go. Hi, this is Akiko Sudano at stampinginthemeadows.com in Downingtown, Pennsylvania. And I have a Christmas card to share with you today. Hi, Amy. Made with the Whimsical Trees bundle. And this is, I hope you guys are having a great time with everything today. And thank you, everybody, for watching. And I'm going to say hi to everybody and just let you guys join in and just focus on what I need to do for my card today. So this is a card that I'm going to be making, and it's with the Whimsical Trees and the Whimsy and Wonder, I think, the Designer Series paper. And so, of course, it's going to be a non-traditional card, and I've got Mossy Meadow and Blushing Bride. So that is a non-traditional color Christmas card. So here's the stamp set, and you can see all the pretty different stamp sets. And of course you've got, here we go, all the pretty dies. And pink Christmas tree was one of the things that I was thinking, but I decided to be a little bit more traditional and go with the Mossy Meadow. And these are all the wonderful dies that are in that beautiful Whimsical Trees bundle. So first thing that I am going to do is I'm going to make my tree, and I'm going to stamp that, move these trees over, stamp that, and I've got a panel of thick Whisper White because this is going to be up so high that I want a little bit of substance to the tree. And so I want to stamp it on thick Whisper White, and I'm going to stamp it in Mossy Meadow ink. And okay, I'm going to just, it's going to take me a while to get this nice and inked up, nice and juicy. I did re-ink my Mossy Meadow pad, but I think I need to get some new Mossy Meadow ink refill. So let's see here. So we'll stamp it here on our thick basic white paper. Give it a second. Let's see how that came out. That came out pretty good. Super. So I'll cover this up, and then there's a coordinating die to cut this out with, and so I'm going to take this over to my die cutting machine right behind me and cut this out, and I will be right back. This is pretty easy to cut out, but just want to make sure we get it lined up pretty well. There we go. And that's it. I'll be right there. Oops, it moved. Okay. There we go. Trying to be so careful. There we go. So here is our tree, and that cut out pretty nicely. Okay, I'm going to move that stamp away. Okay, the next thing that I'm going to do, so I've got my tree, the next thing I'm going to do is take this pretty Whimsy and Wonder Designer Series paper, and what I did was I cut a mat out of the silver foil specialty paper pack, and this is the dark one, and this is the pack that has the 3 different shades of silver foil, and the darkest one has kind of the striations on it, and it kind of has sort of a either purplish or pinkish kind of background color to it, and it really goes well because I was surprised because there's so much right now. It really looks like pink, and it picks up a lot of the pink in this Designer Series paper. But it since the silver foil in the highlights in the paper is iridescent. You've got a lot of different colors there, and so this kind of silvery, pinkish, purplish designer series paper really works well with that paper. So that's why I picked that, and I thought it came out pretty well. And then for the background, what I've done also is use that Merry Melody embossing folder and embossed a panel of basic white. And I'll have all of the dimensions on my blog tomorrow. But one of the things about this embossing folder is that this one does cause you to get a little bit of shrinkage. So I cut this a little bit larger and then cut it down to the point where it was 1/8, excuse me, of an inch smaller than my mat. And then I just adhered that on like that. So emboss this first, but this is so pretty. I love that. So that's on there. So then I'll take this and put this on the front of a blushing bride card base, and I'm using a top fold card base, but you can use either a book size book fold card as well for this and adhere this on with half dimensionals. I'm a half dimensional gal too, so I just put them on and cover this on. Now this is just a little bit shorter, so I have a little bit more of the blushing bride pink on the frame showing through, and I think that just really kind of looks nice with this card style, this sketch. And uncover, pull the covers off. Hopefully you guys are seeing everything okay. There we go. And then I will adhere this to the front of my card base. Make sure, yeah, I'm folding up. Try to center it. There we go. And then I will adhere my presents. Now I've got, I want to put my presents so that the greenery and the bows are like this, so that they're on the bottom of the bows. The greenery's on the bottom of the bows, as opposed to, and you can tell that this would be upside down. So you just want to make sure that it's not upside down. And adhere this on top of this panel with dimensionals. And this card, I think, ended up being a little bit thick, so I think that this would definitely be a card that that you want to give somebody in person or stick it in a package. Definitely think it would fit well in an envelope, and not the kind of card that you need to make a special box for it, but it's not one of those flat cards that you can crank a bunch of them out, but it's really pretty. And that Whimsy and Wonder paper is just gorgeous. And so when I saw a card that was similar to this, and it made me think of a Christmas tree with lots of presents underneath it, and I said, oh, that's what I definitely want. All these pretty presents underneath it. Okay, so this is done, and then I'm going to take my Christmas tree, and yeah, that was a little bit off, and I'm going to put this on with dimensionals as well. I'm going to have this kind of off to the side here. So down here in this little corner here, I'm going to put a double set of dimensionals so that it can go all the way down to the embossed panel. Put that on, peel the cover off, and then put another half dimensional on top of that. So that'll be for this bottom corner. And everything else we can just put on with a single layer of dimensionals. That's fine. And I guess however many you feel you need. Yeah, we're good. All right, and pull them off. Pull the covers off. And this really is a simple little card, but that paper just makes it look so, so beautiful. And so I will just want to make sure that my tree is straight. And I want a little bit of room on the bottom here for the bow. And I did pull the cover off that one too. So I think that's good. Press that down, press everything else down. There, we're good there. All right, so the next thing that I want to do is I used out of the same silver foil, I cut one of these stars using the star die from the Whimsical Trees dies, and I thought that would be just perfect for the top of the tree, for the star at the top of the tree. So I'm going to adhere that with a glue dot. There, and you just cover the whole thing, and then I'll put that on the top like that. Just maybe make sure it's straight. There we go. Okay, next thing, I've got this little banner, and this is about 3/4 it's actually I think it's like 5/8 of an inch, just shy of 3/4 of an inch. And I'm going to stamp the little joy sentiment in Mossy Meadow ink, and this is mint macaron cardstock. And I'm going to just ink this up. This probably pressing that too hard, but we'll see how this goes. And just kind of pointing it not too close to the end there, and hopefully that, no, I'm going to turn that over and try that again. See, I don't know what the story is with my Mossy Meadow ink pad. I think there's, okay, we'll go with it. This is the kind of thing where I think would be good to pull out a stamparatus and mount it in there so that you could stamp it a couple of times. Well, I think I'm gonna go with that one. And we'll just re-ink that up again. And I'm gonna take this and tuck this under with a couple of glue dots and just tuck it under the bottom of the tree so that the edges are covered. That's good. I just want to make sure it's kind of straight. There we go. And then put my pretty pink bow, and this is that gorgeous Blushing Bride fuzzy edged chenille edged ribbon, and that's kind of like I guess my tree stand. I'm going to put a lot of 3 glue dots on this. That's probably a little overkill, but I want to make sure that it sticks good. There we go. And then just push that down right there. There. Okay. So then the next thing, and this is the fun part, this, since we've got all this iridescence, I decided to use the in color jewels because they're also iridescent, and just start on this card, on my sample card, I used all the big ones, but I think you could use big ones or little ones and just use all the colors and just kind of go crazy, because you know what, all of these colors goes well with the colors in the designer series paper, and just bring them down. The yellows are great too. There isn't any yellow, but definitely the pinks go well with this right here, so that it's not quite there. And then these little purples ones are good too. Another of these evening evergreens, soft snow. We've already got one of those. Let's put another yellow one on right here. Just kind of start at the top and go down, just like you're decorating a tree, and say, oh, where does it need another one? What color's next? I think we'll use one of these soft succulent ones, and another one of these guys down here, and then one more in the corner here. I think we'll use the yellow one in the corner here. And then we'll save another pink one for putting on the label right here. We'll put it over here, kind of to fill in some of that empty spot. So that's the card front. Simple, simple. Okay, so let's do the inside of the card now. So for the inside of the card, what I've done is I have used the sentiment, and I've stamped that in polished pink, and then stamped another tree, and then trimmed it with another strip of the designer series paper here. And I'm going to pull, and I stamped this off, so I'm going to pull a piece of paper right here. And where's my stamp? Here's my stamp. And ink this up again in Mossy Meadow. And stamp this off. And it's like, I don't know if, you know what, I want to do something. Okay, that's coming along pretty well. I think I'm going to put this up a little bit higher so that it's kind of with my sentiment this time for this card. Yeah, and I'm gonna have more of it on, but it's still gonna go off the page. So that's good. It's a little bit lighter. It's a little bit lighter with the one stamp off. And in my sample card, I stamped the decorations in polished pink, but I did that stamped off. I think I'm going to go ahead and stamp this full strength polished pink because it ended up being, I think, a little bit lighter than I thought it was going to be. So I'm going to ink that up. Okay, this is nice and juicy. So one of the things that I saw with this, and I did smear that a little bit. Okay, one of the things I did see with this is it's a little bit hard to line up because, so I just kind of went off, and then I kind of went up until I saw that my tree is covered, and then I just kind of aligned it up and stamped. We'll see. Because I think that even if your decorations are going off the tree like this, I think that's okay. So this is good. And then we've got, oh, I need the polished pink yet because I have my sentiment, and lined up my sentiment here on my stamp pad. Let's see. Let's just not rock it. Let's go straight down. A little higher. And I think with the tree on the side, it doesn't have to be quite straight. Okay, yeah. I just had a sudden panic there saying, oh, I hope I'm doing this so that it's not upside down. That would be awful. Okay, I'll let that set for a little bit. There, may the love of the season. That still looks a little, everything looks crooked to me. Everything always looks so crooked to me. But that's the way it goes. And then another strip of the Pretty Presents Designer Series paper on the bottom here. And I'm going to apply that with liquid glue. Okay, all the way across. There we go. And I cut my trims a little bit longer so that they can, so that I reach the edge. And you know what, this is right to the edge here, so I'm going to slide it over so I have a little bit more of this present. Actually, this is upside down. This present's upside down, but this one's not. Actually, that one is. That one's got the, so let's see. Okay, good. There we go. So check for the bows. The bow tails should be going down on this paper. And then slide it around to make sure that I've got everything covered. Check the back, make sure everything is covered. There we go. And then trim the end. And then I'm going to adhere it to, just be careful I don't smear ink all over my stuff here. Adhere it to a Mossy Meadow mat. And there we go. Okay, and then we'll put this on the inside of the card. I hope everybody's having a great time today. And we've got more presentations coming up. Karen and Sue are going to be on later. So their cards are always beautiful too. So adhere this on. There. So I have all of the directions on the sizes on my blog tomorrow. And that's my card. I hope you like it. And thank you so much for joining us. And I'll have everything on my blog tomorrow. Thank you and have a great day. Bye-bye.